Hello everyone, Professor Toybox here, and I'd like to welcome you back to my Atlantis Toy Box. Today I'm here with sadness from Pixar's Inside Out because I've already run into my first major snag with my randomly generated dungeon adventure. Last time I divided my outdoor area into 3 sections that would each be randomly generated. My plan was to have 10 possible layouts for each section, and when the game starts it would choose one layout for each section. That would give me 1,000 different combinations, making the outdoor area unique and unpredictable every time I play it. At the end of my last video, I had built the first of 10 layouts for Section 1, and we talked about some of the limitations of the replayer Creativi-toy that I used to build the layout. You can basically use a replayer to put down any terrain, blocks, plants, or toys that don't require logic connections or property changes. Since my last video, I built the other 9 layouts for Section 1, so you can see I've got a row here of 10 replayers. Things went pretty well until some point after I recorded the 5th or 6th layout, and then something went wrong somewhere, but I didn't discover this right away. After I finished the 10th layout, I went back to play the earlier replayers to revisit my layout designs, and the layouts were all messed up. So if you remember, for example, what the first layout looked like when we finished the video last time, if I come in here and hit play, and we go ahead and generate it, you can see it's stuck blocks and trees and stuff way out over there where I never put them. And there's some weird stuff going on here. And then down on this end, some of the terrain pieces over here on this corner are missing, and it's just all screwed up. So after researching this online and playing around with the replayer toy some more, I've pretty much discovered the replayer is pretty buggy. As a result of my research, I found the replayer has some additional limitations that I didn't previously know about. First of all, you have to try to limit the number of objects you record and play back. I've discovered that the more objects you record and play back, the buggier it becomes. And you can see this area is pretty large, so there's a lot of stuff here. Additionally, I've learned that we have to try to limit the number of replayers that we use. I already had 10 that I used in the starting area over here to hide the gate key, and those all worked okay. And the first 5 or 6 replayers I put down over here all seemed to work okay. Excuse me. And after that is when it kind of went wonky. So the limit appears to be 15 or so total replayers per toy box. Now, of course, that might be strictly the number of replayers. It could be the number of objects that some of these replayers were putting down, or some other limit. It's kind of hard to say at this point what exactly the limitation is. It might be that there's only a certain amount of memory set aside in the toy box for replayers to use. I have no idea. The another thing that I learned is that using undo while recording does work, but it seems to contribute to the instability. So you have to really be careful to try to not to make any mistakes while you're recording. And I didn't learn that until towards the end of all my layouts here. Additionally, while I was reading online, I found some additional tips. They say to try to avoid clearing a replayer before it's finished its playback. That seems to contribute to the instability as well. Repeatedly clearing and playing back the replayer's recording, they say, can cause it to gradually forget items that were recorded. I didn't see this in my experiments, but it's better to be safe than sorry, and with the kinds of bugs I'm seeing, I wouldn't be surprised if that were true. The place I found that was on a Disney Infinity forum where they were talking about 2.0. So maybe that's fixed in 3.0, maybe it's not, who knows. So after thinking about this for a while, I've decided to change my plan. What I'm going to do instead is, instead of doing one large section like this, divided into one large area divided into 3 sections, I'm going to do smaller sections, and I'm going to put each section in its own toy box. and I'm going to string those toy boxes together, and hopefully by keeping them smaller, keeping the areas smaller and the number of things in the replayers smaller, that hopefully I can minimize the number of replayer issues. The downside to this, of course, is that there's going to be more loading screens in between each area, so there's a little extra wait time, but at this point, that seems to be the best way forward that I can see. And so I'm going to go ahead and after all these hours of work, I'm going to actually go ahead and delete all of these replayers and hopefully clear out any issues here. And I'll go later on and delete all those other objects from Section 2 and Section 3 that I had put down outside of replayers to kind of space everything out and all of that. Oh, now that is very interesting, because I deleted all the replayers, but they didn't take away the objects that they put down. So, I'm going to have some interesting cleanup to do here. Well, while I do that, I'll go ahead and sign off for now, and then try my new plan offline. And if that plan doesn't work, I'll keep revising it until I find something that does work. I wish I had better news for you today, but hopefully next time I'll have a solid workable plan for random dungeons that we can move forward with. Wow, a bunch of blocks stuck on top of each other there. Yeah, this was just all messed up. Anyway, subscribe to my channel or follow me on my blog, and stay tuned to see how this turns out. I'm definitely not giving up on this, so if there's a way to make this work, I'll find it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.